Hi everyone and welcome to part 3 of our first outcome for Unit 4, and this is where we're looking at employee relations. But just keep in mind we're still in our area of study 1 where we're looking at human resource management, and this is the third part. So first of all, employee relations, what it's about is the interaction between an employer and an employee when it comes to wages and working conditions. So when there's a negotiation for wages or there's a dispute or anything like that, that's what employee relations is. You may hear it also as industrial relations. It pretty much means the same thing. But in this course, we refer to it as employee relations. Now, it is forever changing because governments are changing, unions fight for better agreements, the minimum wage always changes, everything to do with wages and working conditions, that falls under the umbrella of employee relations. And what happens is whoever is in government will often determine what kind of employee relations system we have. This is one area where a coalition government and a Labor government are quite different, and we'll get into that later on. So over the next few videos, what we're going to cover is the relationship to business objectives and strategy, then the similarities and differences between a centralised and decentralised system. Then we'll look at the type of employment contracts under a decentralised system, and we'll look at the role of the human resource manager in a decentralised approach. The reason we're looking at decentralised so often is because that's the kind of system we have right now. And then we'll look at the type of management styles and management skills that a human resource manager can use in employee relations. So in this video, we're going to look at that first topic, so the relationship between business objectives and strategy. So first of all, an organisation that manages their employee relations well is more than likely going to achieve success and achieve all their objectives. Remember, the employees are the ones that are actually achieving the objectives for the organisation. They're the ones that create the products. They're the ones that sell the products, all those kind of things that an organisation wants to do. So it's managing the employee relations really well. So those that do that will actually improve or meet their objectives. So just a couple of examples. So you can get increased wages for increased productivity. There can be employees have higher satisfaction when they have the wages that they want. That can lead to higher morale, lower staff turnover, all those kind of things. And then agreements on flexible working conditions can lead to lower absenteeism because employees have better work-life balance. So everything, it entails a lot of the things that we've already covered throughout this outcome. The employee relations process as well, as the end result, needs to be well managed. So it's not just, it's not effective if there's been a big dispute where there's been, the relationship's been harmed between the employer and the employee, but the end result is okay. It's important that the actual whole process is managed well as also. So let's look at an example. We've got Cycle Advertising, and they're all the employees. Now we're looking at large organisations, so there's going to be more than 200, but let's just use this as an example. So they're the employees, and what happens is that they're allowed to each employee is allowed to take on 6 clients, so 6 advertising clients. In their agreement, that's what it states. So if there's a 7th client to come along, the employee doesn't have to take that on, because in their agreement, whatever they're paid, it states that you're only allowed to take on 6 clients. So that helps prevent them being overworked and things like that. So there's a new agreement that is coming up. Agreements normally last around about 3 years, and they want higher wages and they want more holidays. So that's what they're fighting for in this new agreement. Then we've got the human resource manager, who is acting on behalf of the organisation during the negotiation, and the organisation actually wants higher productivity. So they want to be able to service more clients. Now obviously they can do that by employing more people, but that then costs the organisation more money. So they want to increase their productivity by servicing more clients. So they get together and negotiate. Now how they actually do this we'll go through in later videos, but let's just say that they're negotiating together. And then a new agreement forms. So they come to an agreement after a little bit of negotiating, and the employees have received their increased wages. They didn't get more holidays, but they got increased wages. And the organisation in the agreement said, okay, well, each employer, you can now take on seven clients. Every employee can take on 7 clients. So they've increased their productivity. To take on new clients or a greater number of clients, they don't have to then employ lots more people. They can, every employee, so let's say there's 200 employees in the organisation that actually can take on clients. Now, each one of them can take on 1 new client above what they could before. That's 200 new clients the organisation can take on. So the increase in productivity is dramatic. Now, yes, they're happy to pay increased wages, but they should be making more money along the way. So just to recap, employee relations deals with the relationship between the employer and the employee in regards to wages and working conditions. It's linked with business objectives really closely because the employees are the ones achieving the objectives. So to manage the employee relations well, here's just some examples that we went through. You can get higher wages, better conditions, as a result, increased productivity, increased morale, all those kind of things. For questions and activities to help you revise for this video, go to teachingbubble.com.